Well, dear students, myself Dr. Ravindra Kumar Sharma, Associate Professor, Physics Department, MSJ, College Bharatpur. Today, I am going to start your fifth paper of MSc, that is first paper of MSc Final, Advanced Quantum Mechanics. This paper is divided into two sections, Section A and Section B respectively. From each section you will have 5 questions in question paper, and from each section you have to solve at least 2 questions, overall 5 questions in your examination. The first chapter of this paper, Advanced Quantum Mechanics, is scattering. So, before going into the deep detail, first of all, we have to understand what is scattering. Scattering, a beam of incident particle is directed toward the target, and incident particles are get deflected from their original path due to interaction between incoming particle and target particles or target particle force. This is scattering. Here I draw a diagram. This is the incoming beam, and after getting interaction from the target particle, this beam is scattered in all directions as you are seeing here. The question raised, what is the difference in between scattering and collision, and what is the significance of scattering in physics? Actually, scattering is the deviation of the incoming particle from the target particle, and the important difference in between scattering and collision is that collision is an incidence of colliding, while scattering is a small quantity of something occurring at regular intervals and dispersed at random points. Means collision is an instant phenomena where when there is the contact in between the incoming incoming particle or target, and scattering is the study what happens in outgoing particle at each and every instant. This is the basic difference in between scattering and diffraction. Now, what is the significance of scattering in physics? Why do scattering experiments? This is an important point. As you already taught that by the experiment of Rutherford scattering, we were able to know the structure of atom. In Rutherford scattering, the alpha particle was scattered with gold foils, and that experiment was able to know the structure of atom. Similarly, the scattering experiment are very important in physics, particularly in the field of research, because by these phenomena we can know the structure of the target, of the material. Not only the atomic structure, not only the geometrical structure, but also we can know about the magnetic structure by scattering experiments. For example, X-ray diffraction or X-ray scattering experiment is important to know what is the atomic structure of the atoms of the material, while neutron diffraction or neutron scattering experiment is important in knowing the magnetic structure of the material. So we can say that the scattering process is very important, very significant in material science and physics. The researchers are always using this process to know the structure, the magnetic properties, etc. of the materials. Some of the scattering examples: Rutherford scattering, Prime scattering, Raman scattering, X-ray diffraction scattering, or Newton diffraction, and many more. These scattering experiments are very significant in physics. Broadly, there are two types of scattering on the basis of initial and final energy of the beam. One is elastic scattering and another one is inelastic scattering. In elastic scattering, the energy of the incident beam of particle and the scattered beam of particle are same, while in inelastic scattering, the energy of the incident beam and the scattered beam are not same. The nature and size of the scattered results in different types of scattering depends on the energy of incident particle. Some more examples of scattering I wrote here: Rayleigh scattering, Raman scattering, etc. Here, I assume that a sharp beam of particle A of definite momentum k are scattered from a localized target B. As a result of this collision, we have several outcomes possibilities. For example, if A is scattered with B and we have no change in A and B, then this is elastic scattering. In second step, you see that the incident beam is as such as watch, but the target particles become excited. So this is inelastic scattering. And in third process, you have another type of particles, that is C. This is also an example of inelastic collision. And in fourth one, by absorbing of A by the target, you have a different type of output, that is C. This is called absorption. In high energy and nuclear physics, we are usually interested in deep inelastic processes. But here, we focus on elastic processes in which both the energy and particle number are conserved, although many of the concepts that we will develop are general in both inelastic and inelastic collisions. So, here we confine our study. Number one, the scattering is purely elastic. Number two, the incident and target particles has no spin for the sake of simplicity. Number 3, we shall assume that the target is thin enough so that we can neglect the multiple scattering process. And number 4, we assume that the interaction between incident and target particle is of U R1 minus R2 type, means central potential, which depends on the relative position of the incident and the target particles. That means R equal to R1 minus R2. Number 5, the study of the problem in the center of mass frame. Means we are studying this problem in center of mass frame. The advantage of center of mass frame is we can assume a two particle system as a single particle problem. So the problem become easy. So these 5 points will be taken into the consideration in our study. Now, what is the differential and total scattering cross section? Keep in mind, both classical and quantum mechanical scattering phenomena are characterized by the scattering cross section, differential scattering cross section sigma. What is sigma? Consider in a collision experiment in which a detector measures the number of particles per unit time and d omega scattered into an element of solid angle. D omega is in direction theta and phi. The number of scattered particle is proportional to the incident flux, that is Gi, which defines as the number of particles per unit time crossing a unit area normal to the direction of incidence. Means if the target is perpendicular normal to the incident particles, then what are the number of particles that are crossing our target? This is the flux, the number of particles. So the collisions are characterized by the differential scattering cross section, which is the ratio of number of particles scattered into direction theta and phi per unit time per unit solid angle divided by the incident flux. That means the differential scattering cross section is the ratio of d sigma over d omega, that is equal to n over ji. What is total scattering cross section? In previous slide, I show that differential scattering cross section is the ratio which are scattered in particular direction theta and phi per unit time per unit solid angle. So what will be the total scattering cross section? You have to integrate the differential scattering cross section over total solid angle d omega, sigma equal to integration of d sigma over d omega integrated d to d omega, which is equal to 0 to 2 pi d phi, 0 to pi d theta sin theta d sigma over d omega. The cross section, which is typically depends sensitively on energy of incoming particles, has the dimension of area and can be separated of sigma elastic, sigma inelastic, sigma absorption, and sigma total. So total scattering cross section is the summation of all type of scattering cross sections. We will focus on elastic scattering, where internal energies remain constant and no further particles are created or annihilated. Means in this chapter we will focus ourselves on low energy scattering, and we will develop the classical and quantum theory of scattering in the next lecture. Thank you. Thanks a lot.